everyone, so this video I wanted to talk about ways to not feel afraid to draw in your sketchbook, because every time I post a video of me sketching, I get a lot of comments of people saying that they're just like too afraid to ruin their sketchbook, and they wish they could be more like confident with just drawing and not really caring about ruining a sketchbook and like actually getting use out of their out of the sketchbook that they recently purchased. And this just like comes with time, but ways that helped me to just like not really care so much about the way my sketchbook looks. And I still do care. Sometimes I'll draw an entire page and I'll just look at it and think like, I wish I didn't do that. I don't like this at all. And there's definitely some sketches in this video that I really don't like, and I wish they weren't in my sketchbook, but I leave them just so I like don't get too precious with all of the pages. And the first thing would be to use a sketchbook that is cheap, so that you don't feel like you're ruining it. Whenever I get a really expensive sketchbook, everything I draw in it I feel like is not good enough for the sketchbook. So if you get something that's like really cheap, like at the dollar store, or buy just like a cheaper sketchbook, then you're not going to feel like you're going to ruin it. Even though sketchbooks can't be ruined, I know it's a common like feeling when you get a new sketchbook and you draw in it and you don't like the drawing, then like the whole thing is ruined. But the whole purpose of sketchbooks is to just like not care about what you put in it, and you use it to improve and to just play with things. So if you get a cheap one, and then you can tell yourself, I can do whatever I want with this sketchbook, and nothing has to look good in it. Also, one of the first things you probably saw me do in this video was I just took 2 marker colors and I just blocked out big areas of color. And this can kind of help you break in a new, fresh page, because a blank page can be intimidating, especially if you're not used to keeping a sketchbook. So if you just block it out with color, then you feel like, okay, this page already has some stuff on it, now I can add to it. And you can do this with paper, you can do this with stickers, stamps, receipts, tape. You can do it with anything and just like stick a bunch of stuff on the page and then draw over that page. And then it kind of looks cool. It kind of has this like scrapbook feel to it if you use like paper and stuff. And you also kind of like break in the page, and then you can feel a little bit safer to draw on the page. And like what you're drawing isn't the only thing that people will see. Well, people aren't gonna, it's not like you're showing your sketchbook to everybody, but somehow it feels like you're gonna show people, so you want it to like look nice. But it's nice to have something already on the page for you to work with, is what I'm saying. Another thing that can help is to use permanent art supplies, so like things that you can't really erase, so that while you're sketching you don't feel like you have to fix every little imperfection. And it can also help you sketch quicker and more decisively, so use like ballpoint pens, markers, paint pens, anything that you can't erase. Try to use those as like big bold lines for sketching. I started doing this like a while ago, and it's kind of helped me not care as much, even though sometimes I just can't get the results I want with permanent supplies. It's a good way to warm up, but I honestly really prefer pencil. I don't even erase pencil that much. I just really like sketching with pencil, and like permanent ink pens aren't really my favorite thing to sketch with usually, unless I'm like really warmed up. If I've been doing like tons of sketches and I'm feeling like very like I'm not feeling so rusty, then I can use like just a marker to sketch with a little bit more comfortably. That's another really important thing that you might want to do, is dedicate, when you sit down to sketch, dedicate one page to, this is my warm-up page, because always when you first start, if it's your first sketch out of the day, it's not going to be what you want usually, because you do have to warm up. You have to do, it usually takes me 5 to 10 minutes before I'm starting to feel like I can actually draw like I usually draw. And in this video, the first page or 2, or maybe even 3, weren't going the way I wanted them to go, so I just considered them like warm-ups and like getting used to sketching today. And after you do a whole bunch of those sketches, then you find you start to draw a little bit better, and then you can start to put a little bit more care into your sketches if that's what you want to do. So it's important to warm up, and don't feel bad if there's a bunch of sketches that look really, really rough, because those can just be your warm-ups. So basically it's just really important to warm up and to know that the first things you draw aren't going to be like, you're going to be a little bit rusty the first time you draw in a day. Another thing that helped me not care so much is knowing that I can block stuff out if I just can't stand to look at it. This is basically when you draw something and it just looks so horrible and you just can't stand seeing it in your sketchbook. I always allow myself to just like put a little sticky note over it and try to like redraw it. This allows you to not be worried so much about making something that you just despise because you can always cover it up. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing this, because some people say like you should just live with the mistakes and just don't dwell on it. But I like to, like, if I have a sketch that I just like can't stand to look at, then I'm not going to want to use my sketchbook as much. So every once in a while, if there's one of those that I just hate, then I'll put a little piece of paper over it, I'll glue it down, and I'll draw something over top of it that I like better. And this also makes me feel more comfortable like showing people my sketchbook, even though I never really show people my sketchbook. So allowing yourself to block out things that you hate can allow you to kind of sketch more freely and not really worry about what things look like so much. The materials that I used in this video, I used Ohuhu markers, and I used some Micron pens and some Copic pens, just like fine felt tip pens, like a red one and a black one. And I used a fine point of the Ohuhu markers, and I also used Posca paint pens near the end, and I was having a lot of fun with those because I was feeling kind of warmed up and a little bit more confident with my strokes, and I was drawing this like cute little character. Something that I always find myself doing when I sketch, especially for YouTube, is I draw the way I think I should be drawing, and then I realize like this isn't how I enjoy to draw. Like this isn't the subject matter I like drawing, and I catch myself just like mindlessly drawing things that don't really make me happy. So then once I switch to the things that I enjoy drawing more, like the more stylized things and things that feel more like my style, I start to enjoy sketching a lot more, and I guess that kind of happens like after you warm up. I wanted to make this video because a lot of people who comment on my videos seem to have like fears with their sketchbooks, and these tips, they're not going to help you immediately. It's just things to think about and to keep in mind as you draw in your sketchbook. And over time, you'll get more and more confident with sketching and not worrying about ruining pages. Even it's always nice to draw something in your sketchbook that you like, because it just makes you feel good about the sketchbook and about the way that your art is going. Because filling pages of stuff that you just like don't really like the look of and don't particularly inspire you can be kind of disheartening and uninspiring. So I catch myself just like mindlessly doodling things that I don't really like to draw, if that makes any sense. Like I'll draw a bunch of faces in styles that just don't really feel like me. And I think it's important to practice things that aren't what you always draw. But whenever I do that sort of like mindless sort of drawing, I kind of feel like, oh, I feel like I just wasted a page not really having fun. But sometimes, I don't know, it's necessary to just like not draw the way you always draw, if that makes any sense. So my tip for you would be just grab a cheap sketchbook, grab some markers and some permanent supplies, and just try to draw without worrying too much about the way it looks. Try to accept flaws, try to loosen up a little bit, and tell yourself it doesn't matter what this looks like, this is just for me to practice and to improve. And with time, like, you'll probably end up liking a lot of the sketches if you just kind of like let yourself go and just let yourself draw freely. Because there's nothing worse than feeling limited by the sketchbook because you feel like the sketchbook is too good for you. There's no such thing as a sketchbook that's too good for you, even though it definitely feels that way sometimes. I really hope this video helped you. A lot of these things might be common sense, but sometimes it's good just to have a reminder that to not be afraid of your sketchbook anymore, or afraid of blank spaces, and starting and trying to sketch things on just like a blank canvas. I really hope this video helped you tackle some of your sketchbook fears. It never really goes away completely, and I think that's kind of a good thing because it pushes you to make nicer looking art rather than completely not caring about the way anything looks. It's good to have a balance, but it's also good to not feel paralyzed and like you can't use the sketchbook. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.